Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and the Las Vegas Raiders have re-signed defensive tackle Jerry Tillery. Would not have been able to make today's show without our awesome new sponsor, Missouri. And if anybody wants to, use promo code CHAT, 15% off at the link that you see below, Missouri.com/chat. If anybody out there, spam how tall you are. If you're looking for an extra few inches, guys, I can go from 5'10" to over 6 foot, and I'll tell you about that coming up here in a little bit. So we've been saying for a long time, the Raiders need to address the defensive tackle room, and they've been doing a lot of these, I'll call them mediocre type of moves. They've been looking for depth. They have yet to make a big splash on the defensive side of the football. Realistically, the biggest move that they have made is Marcus Epps. Tillery, though, was a player that they brought in last season, and when he first started playing for this team, he really helped out the interior pass rush for the Raiders. As the season started to go, I'll be honest with you, he did not play very well down the end of the stretch, especially in that Rams game. That unsportsmanlike conduct one is still that a lot of us are definitely not too happy about. But as it stands right now, the Raiders' defensive tackle room, Billings is still a free agent. You got below Nichols. Tillery's back. You have Neil Farrell Jr., Matthew Butler, both entering their sophomore season. Kyle Peko also is a free agent. So right now, if the season were to start, you'd have Bilal Nichols, Tillery, Farrell Jr., Butler. I would say the Raiders have the weakest defensive tackle room in the National Football League as it stands. I'm still hoping that they figure out a way to bring in some extra talent. We don't have the exact contract details yet. I am going to guess, though, that it's going to be a one-year deal. The defensive tackle market has been kind of crazy to me. So we'll see how much it is. I just hope it's not anything over $3 million per year, or else I'll say then that it's an overpay. So what I want you to do right now, the Raiders bringing back Jerry Tillery. Do you like it? Do you don't? Like, this one's going to be kind of a weird one for me. I'll say because it's a need. I'm going to go with a C grade here for him. Depending on what the deal is. If it's anything over $3 million per year, my grade's going to continue to go lower. If the Raiders are able to get him at like a vet minimum type of deal, maybe it goes up a little bit more. Last season, 18 tackles, 1 sack, former first-round pick. He's played most of his professional career with the Chargers. And the fact that he's had some success in the AFC West, the fact that he looked like he was a good fit, the fact that he bought in to what the Raiders were coaching, to me is arguably one of the biggest reasons why the Raiders decided to bring him back. And I don't necessarily blame the Raiders for needing some extra depth. I don't blame the Raiders for looking for players that they've had some extra continuity with. Yes, I am still looking out there and hoping that the Raiders bring in some extra players, but at this point, it is still a wait-and-see game. I'll go in and get into more stats around Tillery. We'll break down some of his PFF grades, and then I think at the end, we can also talk about some of the other moves that the Raiders made at free agency, and then some other players I'm hoping that the Raiders bring in. But I wouldn't be able to do today's show if it wasn't for our awesome sponsor, and actually, I got a pretty cool video that I want you guys to check out. Raider Nation, we have a brand new sponsor here on the Raiders Report. Major shout out to Missouri. And if you guys want to get some height boosting shoes, 15% off, use promo code CHAT at Missouri.com/chat. Luckily, Jeremy Chugs, he was nice enough to put it down in the comments and in the description of today's show. The Raiders Report is presented by Missouri. Fellas, are you tired of feeling insecure about your height? Missouri makes shoes that can add up to 2.8 inches to your height discreetly. Women get heels, makeup, and push-up bras. Why can't men get a confidence boost too? We're all the same height laying down anyway, if you know what I mean. Missouri shoes are not only height boosting, but also stylish and comfortable. They're not grandpa's Velcro shoes, but fashionable shoes that can receive compliments even without the height increase. The height insoles are integrated into the shoes, making it the ultimate height hack. For a limited time, Missouri is offering our viewers an exclusive discount of 15% on top of their 30% site-wide discount. Use code chat at Conzuri.com/chat to get your 45% off. Don't wait any longer. Upgrade your shoe game and confidence now at CONZURI.com/chat. When I want to get high, I put on a pair of Conzuris. The link is going to be in the comments and in the description of today's video. And I really thought the best way to show you how much height that you can gain, right now I got my regular shoes on, but on my other foot, I got Conzuri. So check this out. I would say right now, if the season started today, your top two defensive tackles out there on the field would be Bilal Nichols and Jerry Tillery, because the Raiders still want to see what they have in their two young guys who they drafted late last season, Farrell out of LSU, Matthew Butler out of Tennessee. But I do think that the Silver and Black have to be able to look themselves in the mirror and say, our biggest team need entering free agency was the interior defensive line. And when you consider the fact that Dave Ziegler said that they plan on building from the inside out, I'm sorry, it's really starting to be hard to believe what these guys say, because they have done, I would say, the exact opposite of what they have said. In terms of some of the other moves, in case you're wondering, they franchise tagged Josh Jacobs to 1 year, $10.09 million. Amir Abdullah, he re-signed with the team at 1 year, $1.75. Jimmy Garoppolo, 3 years, $67.5. However, though, it's $16.3 this season, $28 million next season. Marcus Epps is arguably my favorite move that the Raiders have made thus far, minus Jacobs tag. 2 year, $12 million there, $8 million guaranteed. We did get the Brandon Faison contract details. That's 2 years, $6.5 million, which I do think is actually a little bit more than what I would have liked to pay Faison. But remember, today is all about positivity. Jacoby Myers, 3 year, $33 million deal. When you think about the Jacoby Myers deal, I also want you to think about the Darren Waller trade, because to me, when you look at the money that you're saving from Waller for this season, essentially, about $11 million, right? Waller, you save 11.6. I want people to think of, okay, you essentially traded away Darren Waller to get that number 100 overall pick, third round, and Jacoby Myers, whether or not you like that. Brandon Parker, 1.5. Philip Dorsett, I believe we're still waiting on the contract details around him, though. I anticipate it's going to be a 1 year deal there. Robert Spillane, this one is, I thought, a little bit of an overpay for the linebacker position. He's a rotational LB. When you see guys like Kaiser White getting 2 years, 11, David Long getting 2 years for 11, hell, Lavonta David, 1 year, 7, and you're paying a guy who's not even really a starter that amount of money, wasn't crazy about that. Jacob Johnson, he ended up coming back, re-signed him, and then Jerry Tillery as well, brought back to the Silver and Black. Now, if you guys haven't already, I want you to weigh down or get those comments going in terms of what's your confidence level in McDaniels after some of the entire moves. How about this? The entire front office, because these are the guys that are making the moves. Scale it for me from 1 to 10. Either 1 being no confidence whatsoever, 10 being you're feeling great about a lot of the moves that this team's rolling with. To me, I would say I'm somewhere around a 2 or a 3. I have not liked this free agency period very much. When you enter the NFL period with 43.7, the third most, I was hoping for a little bit more. To me, the Raiders have gotten worse on offense, and they have gotten worse on defense. There is still plenty of time. There is still plenty of time to not hit the panic button. And hopefully, the Raiders do hit a home run in some way, shape, or form in the draft. When you have 12 picks, you're hoping that you get a few big-time hits, right? We will continue to see, though. But for Tillery last season, according to PFF, a 49.8 overall grade, which is below average. A run defense grade of 44.2. Again, that one's very below average. The pass rush grade, though, which is where he succeeds, 61.3. If you could put Tillery in his situations where you know it's going to be a pass, that's where he's going to have success. If you want him to be an every down defensive tackle, that's simply just not going to be the case. Make sure you interact with me on social media, on Twitter and on Instagram. I'll keep you up to date on what our local schedule looks like, but Chugs and I, we promised y'all 40 hours of live time at least this week. 40 hours. So if you're watching this live, cheers to you. If you're not watching this live, tune into the Raiders Report. We're essentially going to be live every single day this week. breaking down a whole bunch of different Raiders moves, breaking down a whole bunch of NFL stuff. So if you want to join the party, please make sure you do so on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications.